So today we're going to talk a little bit about pickles and brines and how you can use pickles and brines to keep things preserved. Where we live in a ski town, and a lot of people have just kind of cleared out, and we've been getting boxes of food dropped outside our apartment. We're trying to find ways to use and preserve and keep to avoid any wastage. So in here we've got this. I'm going to make a brine in front of you. I know I've got 2 litres of water in here. I'm going to make a brine. I'm going to let my veg ferment with some boiled eggs for about 3 days before adding a pickle or adding vinegar to make a pickle. So we'll have pickled eggs on this side. I've got cucumber here just to make some pickled cucumber. And I've been asked to make some hot sauce because I know a lot of people love Sriracha hot sauce. Well, Sriracha hot sauce is in fact a fermented chili pepper sauce. We're in France where we don't quite, and we're in the mountains, so we don't really have quite the same variety of chilies. I couldn't get any red chilies, I've just got green chilies. We're going to make a brine, and we're going to ferment those over a couple of days. So we will start with the hot sauce. So first things first, we're going to need to make a brine. For a brine we need half a litre of warm water. So you've got your 500 mils of warm water. We're going to need to make a 3.5% brine, so you want 3.5% of 500 grams. It would be 35 if it was a litre, so it's 17.5, so let's go for like 17 or 18 grams. I'll zero that again, makes things easier. That's 9, 17, 18. Brilliant. So this is our brine. I'm just going to stir our brine to dissolve. This is why you want warm water, because the warm water is going to dissolve your salt better. So once you've prepared your brine to about 3.5%, we're now going to just pour this in here and fill our jar to just above the level of our vegetables. And in here, in terms of vegetables, packed a jar with chilies. I've then added a couple of onions and a few crushed garlic cloves, and that's going to do. We're going to leave that for a few days again. Top it up just a little bit more. Same as usual. Allows to ferment. Burp it every day to check that you're not going to overgo. You're not going to build too much pressure in there. And here I've actually got some fermented leek tops, which I started a few days ago, and they're really, I mean, you can see the sort of fizz around the top there. They're really fizzy. So what we can do to just kind of like kick this into life is just put a glug of that in there. So by adding an already active brine, we can fire this up. If you don't, then it's just going to take the standard sort of like 4, 5, 6 days. So put a lid on that, and just remember to burp it for every day for 5 days. And once that's done, you're going to drain it, but keep the brine, and you're going to start blending your chilies. We'll show you this later, about adding brine back in to make your sauce. So that's your fermented chilies, or homemade Sriracha. Here we've got cucumbers. We've got some pickled cucumbers. Bella loves pickled cucumbers. Here we've got a pickle. I've got 100 grams of sugar in with about 800 mils of cider vinegar and white vinegar. You don't worry too much which vinegars you use. They'll all do the same thing. And I'm just going to put a pinch of salt on there. And here I've kind of toasted up a spice mix. I mean, you can use kind of anything you want, but here I've got sesame, coriander, these red peppers, and cumin seeds, a bit of cardamom as well. Just nice flavourful dried spices. Toast them a bit to let the flavour out, and just a pinch of those in each. Yeah, this is going to preserve these things really nicely, and it's also going to add really nice flavour. So just fill your jar, pop a lid on. Do you know what I also quite like in pickles? I mean, you don't have to do this, but if you've got a little bit of saffron, just one 1, 2 little stamens, maybe 3. Whoops. Super strong saffron, and to be treated with care. A little bit's nice and too much is horrible. So just 2 or 3 stamens. Really don't do more than that. And then those lids can go on. You can pop that in the fridge to begin with, just while it pickles. But once it's pickled, that is going to be preserved, and it's going to make lovely crunchy condiment. No more need to do with that. For our, we're going to do pickled eggs, but we're going to allow them to ferment a couple of days first. Got a nice. We're going to use the same spice mix. I mean, like a spice mix, you don't necessarily have to work it precisely to what you're making each time. It's be a nice aromatic. But I have in here. I've got like a bay leaf, and I put a bit of saffron. In here, I've got some onions, bay leaves, black peppercorns, and chilies. Love chilies. And I'm just going to go back in with the same spice mix. Haven't yet prepared this brine, but I know there's 2 litres of water in there. So I'm going to need 40 grams of salt. And I will drain a bit of this brine out when I come to pickle, just so it's not too salty. So 40 grams of salt, a load of eggs that we had left for us by our neighbours. Put the water in first so it catches your eggs rather than the other way around and getting eggs that smack into the bottom of your jar. Loads of eggs. Yeah, because I know we've seen scenes at home of a lot of things going to waste and being apparently thrown away, but because people don't actually know techniques like this that can make your food last longer without spoiling. So we've got our salt, we've got our spices. I'm going to put some cayenne pepper flakes. I mean, I'll just chop these up as well. Cayenne. I'm a bit of a chili addict, so you don't have to put those in. Chili flakes. I'm going to go back to my leek tops, and I'm going to nick a bit of that nice punchy juice to set this thing in motion. And then I'm just going to give that a couple of days, and I'll leave it probably a day at room temperature and see how much it starts fizzing. But I'm assuming it will come quite fast because this is quite fast and a lot of stuff in there that the bugs are going to like. And then I might even leave it out on the balcony, top down in the cold, and just give it a couple of days of like cold fermentation.